Have you ever trusted someone so completely that the idea of betrayal felt impossible? Now imagine that someone is your own son. My name's Thomas Reed. For 58 years, I believed I understood life, hard work, loyalty, and family. Those were my pillars. I built my business on them, I raised my son on them, and I carried them like a badge of honor. But life has a cruel sense of irony. Because sometimes, the knife that cuts the deepest isn't held by a stranger. It's held by the hand you once taught to hold a spoon. For decades, I ran a small construction company in Charleston, South Carolina, Reed & Sons. It was honest work. Sunburned skin, long hours, and the kind of satisfaction that comes only from seeing something rise from dirt and sweat. My dream was always simple: build something I could leave behind. And I thought I had that in my son, Ethan. Ethan was the golden boy. Sharp, charming, ambitious. Too ambitious, maybe. People used to say, "That kid's going places." I used to smile with pride. But looking back now, maybe I should have been afraid instead. He was my everything. I lost his mother when he was just 10, a car accident that took the light out of both our lives. After that, I swore I'd give him the world. Baseball games, camping trips, pizza nights. I tried to fill the emptiness we both carried. I wasn't the perfect father, but I never stopped trying. When he grew older, he joined me at the company. I remember that first day, him in a crisp white shirt, eyes bright with excitement. "Someday this will all be mine," he said. I laughed and told him, "Not someday, son. When you've earned it." He grinned. And that grin should have told me everything I needed to know. At first, he worked hard. Clients loved him. He had a gift, a way of making people trust him instantly. But slowly, I started noticing things. Small things. Projects that didn't add up. Clients who'd gone silent. Bills that arrived late. When I'd ask, he'd brush it off. "Dad, relax, it's all under control." I wanted to believe him. He was my son, my only family. What else was I supposed to do? Then one morning, the illusion shattered. I got a call from an old friend, Gary, one of my first clients. He said, "Tom, I hate to say this, but you need to look at your accounts. Something's not right." I brushed it off. But that night, curiosity turned into a knot in my stomach. I logged into our business account. And there it was. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Moved, erased, redirected. All under Ethan's name. My hand froze on the mouse. My heart hammered so hard I could barely breathe. My own son, the boy I'd raised with honesty, had drained the company. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the porch, staring at the stars, asking every question a father shouldn't have to ask. Where did I go wrong? Was I too strict? Too soft? Did I love him too much? Or not enough? The next morning, I confronted him. He walked in with that same smug grin, car keys in hand, a brand new Mustang parked in the driveway. I asked, "Ethan, where did the money go?" He didn't even blink. "It's time you stepped aside, Dad. You built this company your way. I'm gonna run it my way." I felt my blood turn to ice. "Your way?" I asked. "By lying. By stealing from your own father." He scoffed. "You don't get it. You're old school. I'm just doing what everyone else does. You're holding this company back." I stood there, speechless. My throat tightened, my heart pounded. For a second, I saw a flash of the boy I once knew, the kid who used to call me his hero. But that boy was gone. He walked out that night. No apology, no regret, just arrogance. In the weeks that followed, everything collapsed. Clients stopped calling. Partners left. Rumors spread that I was losing my mind, that I'd mismanaged the business. And the cruelest part? Those rumors came from Ethan himself. He started his own company, Reed Innovations, using my resources, my workers, my reputation. He branded me as the outdated old man who couldn't keep up. I'd built that name with my blood. And now, it was being dragged through the mud by my own son. One day, I drove to the office, hoping to talk, to reason. But when I got there, my name was gone from the door. Reed & Sons had been replaced with Reed Innovations. I stood outside, watching employees I'd mentored walk past me, eyes lowered in shame. I wasn't angry then. I was broken. That night, sitting alone in my truck under the rain, I realized something. The pain of betrayal isn't the betrayal itself. It's the silence that follows, when you realize the person who hurt you doesn't even care. After that night, something inside me died. But something else was born, a quiet, burning resolve. I didn't want revenge out of hate. I wanted justice. Ethan had to understand what he'd done, not just to me, but to everyone who believed in him. So, I started planning, not recklessly, but patiently. First, I reached out to old contacts, the ones who still respected me. I told them everything. Some didn't believe me at first, others did. I spent nights collecting evidence, bank statements, fake invoices, contracts signed in my son's name but with my company's license. Every detail, every number, every lie. For 3 months, I kept silent. I let him shine. Let him feel untouchable. His company grew fast. He was on magazine covers, podcasts, local TV, the young visionary of Charleston. People adored him. He spoke about integrity and innovation, the same words he'd stolen from me. But the higher he climbed, the harder he'd fall. Then came the perfect moment. Reed Innovations was nominated for a state business award. Cameras, investors, reporters, the whole city watching. He walked on stage in a black suit, confident as ever. And I sat in the audience, hidden in the back row. When he began his speech, "Everything I am, I owe to my father," I almost laughed. Because while he was soaking in the applause, I pressed send on an email, a folder filled with every piece of evidence I'd gathered. I sent it to local news outlets, the IRS, and the Business Ethics Board. By the time he finished speaking, his phone was already buzzing. Within 48 hours, headlines spread across the state. Young CEO under investigation for fraud. Reed Innovations accused of embezzlement and forgery. His empire collapsed overnight. Investors fled. Clients demanded refunds. Former employees came forward. And the same people who once praised him now called him a liar. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just watched quietly as karma did what it always does. It arrived late, but right on time. Ethan tried to reach me. Dozens of missed calls, messages, even letters. I ignored them all. Not out of cruelty, but because he needed to feel what I felt, the cold silence of being betrayed by someone you trusted. But revenge doesn't stop the ache in your chest. It doesn't erase the memories of better days. I missed my son, not the man he became, but the boy he used to be. A few months later, he showed up at my door. It was raining again. Fitting, I guess. He looked nothing like the confident CEO he once was. His hair was messy, his suit wrinkled, his eyes hollow. "Dad," he whispered, "I lost everything." I didn't move. I just stared at him. He asked, "Did you do this to me?" I could have lied. But I didn't. "Yes, son. I did. You betrayed me, but I couldn't let you destroy what generations built." He looked at the floor, shaking his head. "I thought you'd be proud of me." "Proud?" I repeated, almost laughing. "Pride doesn't come from stepping on others, Ethan. It comes from standing by what's right." He didn't argue. Didn't shout. For the first time, I saw guilt, real, raw guilt, in his eyes. He turned and walked away. And as he did, I felt something inside me break all over again. Weeks turned into months. The investigation ended. Ethan wasn't sent to prison. I made sure of that. I pulled some strings, made some calls. I didn't want my son destroyed. I just wanted him changed. He sold his car, his house, everything he had left, to pay off debts and settle cases. Then he disappeared for a while. I didn't know where he went, and for a long time, I didn't care to know. Until one morning, about a year later, I got a letter. It was from him. He was living in a small town in Colorado, working construction, just like I did when I was his age. The letter said, "Dad, I'm sorry. I understand now. You were right. Success without integrity means nothing." I must have read that line 20 times. Sometimes, revenge isn't about ruining someone. It's about forcing them to look in the mirror. And maybe that's what he finally did. Now, every evening, I sit on my porch with my old dog, watching the sun go down. The world's quieter now. The company's running again. Smaller, steadier. The sign outside reads Reed and Sons, though there's only one son left in spirit. I still think of him. Not with anger anymore, but with a strange kind of peace. Because in the end, revenge didn't heal me, forgiveness did. When you raise a child, you give them your heart. Sometimes they break it. But if you're lucky, they also learn how to mend it. People ask me, Tom, would you do it all again? Would you still take revenge? And I tell them, yeah. Because sometimes, justice is the only way love can survive. But the real victory wasn't watching him fall. It was watching him stand back up. This time, as a man who finally understood what it means to be a Reed. And maybe that's enough.